Namaste, folks. How's it going? This is Meta Talk Spirit, and I'm making the same video that I did before. This video is about how come I'm not able to meditate. There are folks out there who really try to meditate, but they don't really find it that it works. And I'll explain some reasons why you may not, or may, or can't meditate, and I'll explain why. Some folks meditate while they're working. Some folks meditate while they're sleeping. Some folks meditate while they're walking. Some folks meditate while they're driving. Some folks meditate while they're in their backyard, either praising to the sun or just getting their vitamin D, just facing towards the sun, the direction of the sun. And here are probably some reasons why. One, there's probably some distractions. So you probably have too many things in your mind. Like you're worried about this bill, you're worried about that bill, you're worried about I need to get this work done, I need to get this done. The whole point of meditating is to give you, my idea is to give you that inner peace for that moment that you actually need. Every day in our lives, we need a moment of that peace. And I'm actually meditating while I'm doing this video. I might ramble about a bit, and I do apologize, but that's me meditating. I meditate when I'm talking as well, because I'm spiritually talking while I'm making this video. There's another reason why. Probably lack of sleep. I know there are folks out there who are working overtime and can't meditate for squat. You're like working too much, or like every time you meditate you just fall asleep because you can't focus. And then there are other times where people try to meditate but they can't because they're too awake. And meditating is not an easy thing. It's really not. Anybody can meditate if you take the time to figure out what's causing it. You should do a checklist. Start with everything that's happening from home, and then work your way from what's going on with your family, with the car, to the pets, to the office, to the job, to to everything. Even working where you work kind of affects you. What I mean by that, you probably are at a 9-to-5 job that's really screwing with you. When I mean screwing with you, I mean like you got an abusive boss and you're afraid to say something, or you got an employee who's half-assing in their job, getting paid the same or getting paid more, and they're not working as hard as you are. And that's another thing. You probably may have insomnia. You're probably having difficulty sleeping. You're taking pills. Actually, having pills affects your state of mind sometimes. I'm not telling you not to take your medication. You may want to check on what you're taking, if it's affecting you, yes or not. If it is, speak with your doctor. I'm not a doctor either. I'm not a physician. I'm just speaking through my experience of taking certain medication when I had my troubled times before I started meditating and seeking help from my spirituality, of finding my inner problems and facing my demons. And what I mean by demons, I mean my problems. What's causing me this pain? What's causing this? What's causing that? Not physical ailments. I mean psychological problems. Like one time I was paranoid because I was about to die one time. Or the other time where I was gonna die again when someone pointed a gun right between my forehead while there's two others. And I decided to, stay to myself and always be on alert for a couple of months. And somebody told me, go meditate on it. And I said, how? Meditate. I said, how? Find your own way. And I told them, how? This is, and keeps repeating, find your own way. After that, I realized what he meant. I had to research so many things. How people meditate. What time is the best time to meditate. When is the worst time to meditate. And I'm going to give you my time to meditate. My time to meditate is where I'm in the sleep-awake stage. And speaking as a gamer, there's a point when we folks as gamers play for hours and hours and hours, and it was time to sleep. And you're in that phase where you're not focused because you're getting drowsy, sleepy, your eyes are getting heavy, your head just want to droop aside, and you're like fighting to stay awake because you want to kill that opponent. If you know what I mean and you experience that, that's the time to meditate. It's not gonna happen spontaneously the first time, because you need to learn to stay focused, to stay awake. And trust me, it took me a while. Also, it's like, it depends on the person who's gonna help you meditate as well. There are folks who like to do meditation as a group. There are folks, like for me, for instance, I'm a male, I'm a guy. I need to hear a female voice to guide me in the meditation. I don't want to hear a guy's voice going like for instance, this is where one video that this guy's voice is so deep, it's not soothing to me. It's like a headache. He had that macho, muscular voice of "Go to sleep deeply." Like, his voice was so deep. It was not soothing deep. It was deep. And something told me, listen to a different video. Listen to a female's video. Because I didn't find that as necessary. I don't find that as a gentle tone. I don't find that as a gentle energy. I found that as a masculine, aggressive tone of vibration that I don't want to hear in my ears. And I actually literally threw my headset off and broke it, because that voice, I couldn't take it, because I was in 20 minutes of it and I'm not getting any results, and I felt more aggravated because the person that was doing the meditation on YouTube had an aggressive tone of voice. You can't hear it, but you could feel it when you're somebody who had meditated many times and meditated with different people and done guided meditations with a group of people you don't see every day. And sometimes that even people who I do meditation with, and I do the guided meditation, tells me the same thing. Like, I couldn't meditate because your voice is a male and I'm a guy and I can't meditate. And I said, why didn't you tell me? I could have changed my voice a little differently to fit your need. And yes, I can change my voice, but I don't want to. And and he says, oh, I'm sorry. And so I like, don't worry about it. It's only human nature to listen to a voice of a female. Some males prefer hearing a female voice than other males. I am one of those males. I'd rather hear a female's voice guiding me while I go to a meditative state, because it feels soothing and relaxing. Some women told me the same thing. They're like, oh, I was somewhat in a meditative state, and she told me that she was a very shy person, and I told her, don't tell me, you rather hear a female voice, right? I said, yes. And I told her, don't worry about it. And I gave her some links on a YouTube channel of females who have female voices that I found soothing. And next day I got an email stating, oh, that was a wonderful experience. Da, 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 da. My body went limp. I felt tingly all over. And she felt amazed. Now going through the voice, now the settings. I'm going to go in a Reiki perspective because I'm a Reiki 1 Usui, give me a sec. I forgot the title. Oh my god. Usui. Okay, Usui Rojo. Usui Shiki Rojo. Level 1. Reiki healer. I got it toned for um, by my mentor. I'm not gonna say my mentor's name without permission. And so, going back to what I'm stating, you have to also evaluate the settings. I did meditation guides at my university that I went to, and all privacy reasons, I'm not gonna say which university I went to. Uh, I make sure there's no trash. I make sure that everybody comes in with a positive attitude. And I did check up on some people who were. I could tell who was a heavy sleeper by looking at them, and sometimes it gets really difficult to tell them, because some might get offended, some might, because there's supposed to be a certain setting that helps everybody stay calm. For instance, for example, this bowl right here is a singing bowl. I use it to clear the negativity every time I meditate. And I use that to the point to get people's attention if they're falling asleep during meditation. Sometimes I will walk around up and down, guiding, and then I go back to my table and ring that to get people's attention because they're ringing. Just listen to the bell. And I'm going to hit again and just listen carefully. As you can hear, the bell's really soothing. It's not like as if I am hitting a giant gong. Boom! Through another meditation I went through, tried to go through, because it was too loud. It was a drastic hit of a giant gong. That didn't help much with the meditation. And then I learned that the way I meditate is very gentle, relaxing nature environment. I actually put words and phrases that actually triggers your active imagination. Sometimes I use the settings of a home or settings of a environment, and it helps people visualize, because every word carries a vibration and an intent of helping those that are seeking in a meditative state. And it's really, really important that you, as an individual, practice, and finding the needs to help folks to meditate. I wanted to light incense before other people came, but due to the policy, I wasn't allowed to because of fire hazard. It was a tiny little comb of incense, very tiny. It burns no more than 10 seconds. And after that, I actually burned it, but due to circumstances, the person saw me and gave me a warning. They're like, you cannot do this, or you have to end this situation of meditating. And I was like, okay, fine. So as a Reiki student, I decided to Reiki the environment. Make it a temporary sacred space. When I mean temporary, I mean I use certain symbols from different attunements. I'm also a fairy Reiki master in the attunement, unicorn angel attunement as well. But I use a certain attunement to fit with the environment that I needed to fit. But I used a symbol from the Usui Shiki Rojo to cleanse the area, because that room, you have different people coming from different places, and if I didn't have enough time to do that either, I carried this bowl around me and hit it. And sometimes if I forget my bowl, I do a little prayer, asking that may this place be blessed and be positive for everyone to feel comfortable, relaxed. while increasing my